Welcome to
the local lowdown and
find out what's happening in Lavaca County, Texas. Now here are your hosts, Murray and Michelle.
Hello everybody, this is Murray back with you for the local lowdown podcast. This will be the February 7th and 8th editions of our newspapers all across Lavaca County. And I got my partner Michelle. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm good, Murray.
All right. Well, have anything been going on?
A lot, but I just wanted to tell you that I know I give you a hard time about getting these dates right, but we do sit in this room that has a calendar that's turned to December of 2021.
Well, at least we knew what happened then and what days they fell on. Of course, we could ask Henry Joe Yashik. He would already know.
And the weather.
You bet. Well, I guess we're going to start off with the Hallettsville Tribune Herald. And then we've got some subjects. You want to cover these, or do you want to just go newspaper by newspaper?
Well, let's cover the subjects.
All right. Well, go
it's
ahead.
More fun. And it's also newspaper by newspaper because the storm definitely hit Lavaca County. Wherever you were on Friday night, you probably had quite an experience. I was in Shiner leaving the banquet, and I got pretty wet. And the rain was cold, like cold rain. But I heard that you guys in Hallettsville had a little more fun.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of damage. It was mostly around Hallettsville and probably east and maybe south. I know we live probably about a half a mile from the Hallettsville golf course, and it tore it up pretty good. My wife swears that she heard a tornado, but our senior reporter, Jimmy Apple, after he interviewed some people, he said they were calling it some kind of downdraft wind or something, and said that those winds could have been 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
And friends, that's about tropical storm hurricane speed wind. So, yeah, it tore some stuff up, and those people, I believe it's the Barneses, Bubba and Cheryl Barnes. That's the picture of their place on the front page of the Hallettsville Tribune. That's their barn and tractor, and we also had that same picture on the front page of the Molten Eagle. So it did some damage, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the soccer goals wreaked a little havoc out at the park. So we hope everyone stayed safe and the damage is as minimal as possible. I know it's no fun. Once I had a tree fall down, and luckily it could have fell on my house, but it fell on the fence of the neighbor, or the fence we share. And my neighbor's a good guy, so it worked out better than falling through my house. But,
yeah, you can't beat that. Well, what else do we have for the Tribune?
For the Tribune, and we definitely had the banquet last week, which was very exciting. The Newmeyer couple claimed Citizen of the Year, which she was also Kolache Queen, so she's having a good year. But we thank them for all that they do for the community of Hallettsville. We have our last run this week in the Hallettsville paper regarding the stock show, and that is the Commercial Heifer Show, and the winners of that, as well as we do have a correction to the Zero Buyers group that didn't quite make the paper last week. And, of course, the buyers of the commercial heifers. So that's all in Hallettsville's paper this week. Coronation of the King and Queen. So it's always good to have a king and queen in your town, right? Mm-hmm. And so for this year, from Sacred Heart, we have Clayton Chance and Alexandra Kratz. So congrats to them. And that's a big honor for Sacred Heart. And they had their annual extravaganza, and I hear it was a good time. So congrats to them. We had some record-breaking moments with all the weather and going on. And then I know in Hallettsville and Moulton, I'm not sure if any of our other papers got it, but we talk about, or we give information on reporting your damage. And so check that out. So all of the rains and storms that have been happening, you want to report that damage as well.
And folks, we're back off the internet today, so you're going to hear the newspapers folding and making a little bit of racket. But anyway, we're going to get it done, and I also want to remind people about the voting. Have we got dates on the early voting, or is it just a reminder that
I think it's more just talking about who's voting, but it does say it begins on January 17th and continues until Friday, February 16th. I guess that's filing. So I don't think we have voting information quite
Okay.
yet, but
Well, just
it's
remember to go vote, folks. You know, whoever. It's you've got that right, and a lot of people have fought in a lot of wars to be sure you have that right. So get out there and vote, and we'll just depend on you to make good decisions. And
right.
Michelle, while I'm
make sure they're informed decisions.
exactly,
Right.
while I'm talking about this newspaper, Michelle, it looks like you've taken on some more duties with this paper.
I'm quite I'm expanding out, I guess. Yes, I have. I have taken out the layout. I guess I'm going to say it, because if you hate it, you can let me know. I'll work on it. But Bobby did continue. Bobby Horechko is our managing editor. He laid out the front page, and then I covered the inside to the back cover. So it's been quite an experience. I actually really enjoy it. It's a learning experience. Every week it'll get better. I hope to minimize mistakes. So thank you. Like Chuck Groff always says, our mistakes go in black ink for everyone to see. So
well, you've been doing a good job,
Thanks,
and
Mary.
you'll only get better. It's folks, if you've never heard of paginating or putting newspaper pages together, that's just like building a big puzzle, and you try to arrange things in a way where they're pleasing to look at and where the information is all there. So check it out. Know that a lot of work goes into it, and like you said before, we do make mistakes, because everybody does, but we try to take care of it and make sure we apologize and don't do it the next time. One other thing while we're on that subject, I write columns sometimes that are, what would you call them? Controversial? Maybe so.
opinionated.
They're opinionated, and we get some feedback on them, and a lot of time we get feedback from people that don't even read this newspaper or subscribe to it. But anytime that you disagree with any of those columns or opinion pieces, please write letters to the editor, because we would love to hear your view.
Yes, and there is one in the paper this week, so it proves that we do publish them,
Yep.
and we do listen. Everyone has an opinion, and everyone's opinion is worth being heard, whether you agree with it or not.
All right, what else we got going on in the Hallettsville paper?
Well, Clayton Kelly, and I do think this appears in multiple papers this week, coming off of January, which was Mental Health Awareness Month, writes a good piece on some programs that is in the area that assist with mental health. And this is also the month for the Red Door. And the Red Door campaign, Jimmy Apple did a great article on it last year. You can look it up. It was founded by a child's drawing, or it came out of an inspiration from a child's drawing. But it basically means that if you are a Red Door place, which we definitely consider the newspaper, that is that you support mental health and the awareness to that some days are just hard for everyone.
Yes.
And that everyone's different and everyone deals with their own things. And I would like to personally say that is one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life, is even those people that are smiley, happy, cheery, we all deal with very different problems, different worries, different concerns, and they really are all valid. Sometimes they may seem like that's a crazy thought that pops into your head, but it's your thought, and we respect that, and we respect that what you're going through may be huge to you, but you will get through it. So everyone has that, is what I guess my overall thing is. Even if you see people that are smiling and seem happy all the time, everyone deals with their own things.
Yeah,
so
you have no idea what's going on in their life, and I learned that lesson from my little brother that passed away. He passed away in 2015, and he had pancreatic cancer, and the survival rate for that's not very good. And they only gave him 6 months to live, and he lived another 20 years. And then he died, finally, when he did pass, and he was still a young man, 61 or whatever, and he died from stomach cancer. So when Toby Keith passed away this week from stomach cancer, it brought back those memories, which wasn't good. But I remember him telling me after he survived pancreatic cancer, I'm bad about sometimes getting fired up over things, and sometimes maybe people do something and I'd get mad, and I'd be telling him, oh, that old so-and-so, he's did this and that, and he'd always stop me. He said, now, Murray, you don't know what's going on in that man's life. Maybe he's got cancer. Maybe he's fighting, something like that. And so I always try to remember that before I'm too quick to judge or jump on somebody.
Do you ever think about that when you and Henry are spatting?
Not really, because
Okay.
he deserves everything he gets.
And then there's that. But seriously, Murray and I joke a lot, but mental health is not a joke.
You bet.
And please always remember that. Be there to support other people, even if it's just by not judging them. That's very
true.
good. So, great article by Clayton. It's in, like I said, I think it's in all of our papers. Maybe Moulton didn't get it. Did you get it? Moulton didn't get it this week, but they will.
We'll get it.
Sure. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much covers Hallettsville. There was a lot of news in Hallettsville. I will say that. So definitely check out your paper. There's updated meeting notices, and we do want to thank Capital Star Oil and Gas for all their donations. This was to the oyster supper, but they donated to all of our first responders, and we know that we are surviving by first responders. And the wreck of Don Milo and the history of the railroad. Let's go there. Did it make all papers? I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know. I had to cut down some on it in the Moulton, but it's an interesting story, and I put in there that a colleague inspired me, and she's sitting right here. So anyway, you might want to read that. It's kind of funny. It's in a certain way. We were looking at when the train service stopped in Hallettsville, and I did a little research on it, and actually the passenger train service stopped in 1949. But our senior reporter, Jimmy Apple, tells me that he remembers freight trains still going through here in the 60s. And the wreck of the Don Milo is about an engine that was, I believe, I don't remember the date offhand, probably 1890 something. And anyway, they were passing over this Lavaca River bridge. It had been a big flood. It was a wooden bridge, and right before the train engineer got up to it, he saw that the bridge had collapsed, but he was too late in braking, and some of the cars went into the river, and their cargo was alcohol, liquor, and so some of the sightseers came out to see the wreck, and while they were watching the wreck, they took them a little drink of some of the cargo.
They
that
enjoyed
was
the cargo.
exactly, but I think you'll enjoy it. It's a funny story.
Well, I thank Murray for doing it. It was inspired by, I realized last week when Ms. Kalachny comes pick up her paper, and she was explaining where her barbecue place is, that she said where the old railroad tracks used to be, and I was like, it just light bulb went off that basically every town around this area that you drive through, from Luling to Yoakum to Moulton to Flatonia, Schulenburg, you go over a active railroad.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously Shiner had the big train wreck a couple of years ago now, and so I'm so used to that it just was like, oh, there's not one that I crossed in Hallettsville.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it seems like that we have that railroad that comes through Moulton and Shiner, and I believe that's the same one that goes through Yoakum. I'm not sure about that, but I believe that's correct. But yeah, they ended it here. The passenger train service was just costing them so much money that they were losing money, so they stopped that in 1949. But a lot of these towns around here in our area still have tracks and train depots.
And a little bit of information that the brewery in Shiner actually receives all their grains still off the railroad.
Oh, really?
They use it for their production. It's a very important part. It's what starts the making of the beer.
Well, how do they ship it out?
On trucks. The
Okay.
beer? Yeah, you're not going to have a train wreck that you get to drink
Oh,
Shiner
heck,
beer.
I was going to hang
You'll
around.
just get the malted barley to start making your beer.
Well, we got anything else? We got anything in sports before we jump
I
on?
know that Chuck said there's a playoff game, or not a playoff game, a tiebreaker game tomorrow at Rice. And I don't. If that's for the Houtsville girls?
No,
maybe?
I believe that's Moulton.
Moulton.
I believe it's Moulton girls.
Okay, we don't know.
We would
Chuck
have to
talks
check.
a lot, and we should just have him come and give a sports report because we don't always follow. And I know that there is soccer still going on, and Houtsville's doing well. Yoakum also has soccer, so it's kind of a new sport in the area. But please support it. These kids work hard, and we wish them the best.
Yeah, Honey said they had a game.
Season.
They got a game coming up. But
Yeah, and I think Murray's coming out of retirement.
well, I don't know about that, but
We're working on it.
All right, what else?
And then there is a staff article in the Houtsville paper on the new vaping, I think, or the e-cigarettes that are very attractive to children. Sorry, I know you're hearing the paper. And so there's a law in effect now. It's a new law. So make sure you guys read that. When, you know, sometimes I think there's the, what is that called? Big League that looks like Copenhagen for kids. And then you used to have the cigarettes that were candy. I think you can still get those. I think Bees and Shiner, the Bees candy store, has them. And I don't know why that doesn't bother me. I guess because it's still fun and just candy. And I mean, root beer is great. It's beer. But the fact that vaping and e-cigarettes, all of that is very new. We don't know the effects it will have on our body, or our children's body. And so when you're putting them and you're making them very appealing, their candy look like wrappers, but they aren't pretend like candy cigarettes and Big Chew.
Yeah,
they are the real thing.
They're the real thing, that's for sure.
Make sure that you're talking to your kids that, you know, we don't know the effects, and we put a lot of things in our body, from unhealthy foods to alcohol to different things, but know that we see the effects, and just know the risks. You can do anything you want, is my opinion, but know the risks.
That's right.
And kids aren't the best. Their brains aren't mature enough.
No, you know, kids aren't the only ones that are doing that.
It is very true.
I know some adults that do it as well.
But adults should have a fully mature brain to make that decision on their own. But do your research.
All right, let's check out the Shiner Gazette and see what's going on.
All right, and in Shiner, we also had our banquet on that rainy, stormy Friday night, but it was a great time. We played some bingo, had a great turnout, an amazing turnout, actually. It was a wonderful fundraiser for the Chamber and the scholarship program that the Chambers give out, and Mr. Greg Chumchaw was named Citizen of the Year. Now, I don't know, hopefully Greg will not get mad at me. He's such an amazing guy. But in his speech, he talked about how Shiner's a bubble. And he's always said that. And it's amazing to live in a place where you don't see the crime, you don't see whatever. Well, that night, or the very next night, he was one of the people that unfortunately his truck got burglarized and stuff. But I think overall support of, hey, let's catch these guys, let's stop the crime. You know, people turning in their Ring camera videos from their front porches and all of that shows that Shiner does support that we want this out of our area. And bad does come in. Yeah. But I think the bubble that we live in is the bad's going to get out really fast because we're not going to stand for it.
Well, that's good. You know, a lot of this stuff, too, is coming from, it's not local.
It's not.
And I'm not going to get on that because I'll get political real fast. But you just need to stay aware. And I read the other day where a lot of these, they like stealing these white trucks that a lot of them are Fords because they can haul more dope and haul more human trafficking and what have you. But you need to stay alert and be sure that you keep your vehicle locked at all times when you're not there.
Yes, and take it from a person who had previously. So don't go try to break into my car because I am locking it now. Left their purse and keys in the car. I have not done that. Actually, one of the auto thefts took place down my street, so like 3 blocks down. So I know it's very close to home for me, and I just feel awful because I think that it's one of those things that whether it's your company truck, your personal truck, anything, I think like Greg's truck was not stolen. They just went through it, and I think maybe a gun. I don't know. That could all be hearsay, but some items were taken. But that's your personal space, and when someone invades your personal space, that's a very uncomfortable feeling, and it's not great. And so we do hope that you stay vigilant, watch, keep your eyes open, so we can catch this and make sure that they know that we are watching now, we are taking more precautions, and that they need to move on.
Yeah, people are becoming more and more aware, and these people that are doing these things are coming from other places, and they're not afraid to steal right in the middle of the day. And I know we had an instance here in near Hallisville, I believe it was, where a guy caught them in the act in broad daylight, and they did run away, but they took a few shots at the man as they were driving off. So that's what we're dealing with.
Yes, and also be careful.
Yeah.
Because as much as, you want to be a proponent for yourself and your vehicles, it's not worth your life. So
You're right.
Call the proper authorities. Think about your action.
Yeah, because the material things can be replaced.
Right.
So Michelle's right about that. What else we got?
So that was a big thing. I know we didn't really talk about it in Chuck's because I always skip over Chuck. At least that's what he says. But he does have the newspaper predictions for the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl, the Casey's and Shiner will be having a chicken dinner on Sunday. So you can avoid cooking in the morning and then have some Super Bowl food in the evening while you're watching the Super Bowl. That's from 10:30 to 12. And that's always, I know, a good meal, even though I don't eat the chicken. We all know why. But Gillet rice and beans are amazing. So I'm very, hopefully, if you need a meal that day, go support them. And who was your pick for the Super Bowl, Murray?
I didn't really pick. I told Chuck that I like both of those teams. In fact, during the year, I pull for both of them. So I'm going to be able to sit back and watch it and enjoy, not having to worry about this or that. But I do believe that Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs, he's going to be hard to beat.
They're the underdogs, right?
Well, whatever.
According to Chuck, they're the underdogs.
Well, they got Taylor Swift on their side, so they got something going for them.
They do have a lot going for them there. So you can see all of the employees' picks because Chuck went around and asked. Of course, he asked me on Tuesday while I'm laying out the paper and super busy. So my response was, whoever Henry Yashik picked is who I'm going with.
Well, and actually, Chuck picks for Henry Yashik, so you're picking for Chuck.
Oh, gosh. Well, either way, but my honest pick would have been the Chiefs. I do like the Chiefs. There's just something about Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and all those people that, I'm really sorry. I probably like the Kelsey brother better that's retiring. Sorry, Taylor. But I love his personality. I feel like it's kind of a lot like mine. I'm not going to jump out of any windows and take my shirt off, but I still have that really fun, I want to always have fun personality, and I think that's what he has. And so I love the family support. I love the family backing him. And so if I can't see the other Kelsey brother play in the Super Bowl, I'm glad that I'm watching him cheer on his brother.
Well, I believe it was last year, year before, they were both in the Super Bowl against one another.
Yeah, that was amazing.
But
sad, but amazing.
I don't know if I wrote an article about the price of Super Bowl tickets.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
And I don't know how many papers we got that in. I know I didn't get it in Moulton.
Hallettsville got it.
But they were talking about Taylor Swift and how much money just her being around the Kansas City Chiefs. And I believe, if I read it right, that they are crediting her with bringing in up to $300 million for
which is amazing.
that team. But anyway, that's all I got on that.
So yeah, it's fun, and if you're going to the Super Bowl, wow, you really wanted to go.
If you can afford $7,000 tickets in the nosebleed section, have at it.
Yeah, but I'm going to enjoy it from my couch.
Me too.
Are you betting? Oh yeah, you said you don't.
No,
bet
I don't
anymore.
do that no more.
Well, I have some numbers, so cross your fingers that Michelle wins, because I'm excited about that. So that's all I'll be doing, watching my numbers, eating some snack foods, and sitting in my living room, not paying $7,000.
All right.
All right, what else is going on in Shiner? I know there was a city council meeting that Clayton covered. I'm going to encourage you, we talked about the auto thefts again. Some of the ways, if you have opinions or you have thoughts or ideas or kind of want to know what's being done, attending your city council meetings, they are open. I had mentioned that before, that I didn't know that they are open to the public always. So that's how you get your voice out there. Attend them, hear what's going on, hear what they're doing.
Yeah, it's hard to gripe if you don't get involved and spread your opinion.
I didn't get a chance to look at a whole lot of these papers this week, and I know that a lot of them we like to, I didn't do obituaries. Well, Hounsville didn't have any, but Lupe L. Trevino, 80 of Clute, passed away peacefully at his home on Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. So, definitely condolences, of course, always.
Yeah, condolences to his family, you bet.
And we're moving right along. Mark Luby has lots of sports. And I think both the Comanches basketball teams are in the playoffs. And I know St. Paul is as well. So that's great.
Don't forget Potex over there.
I know Potex always has a pretty ad, like Henry said. So, and there's a ad to check us out online, and that's a big thing. Wherever you are, I know that I do not. This is not my against the Postal Service message. Do you have an alarm set for a certain time, Murray? Murray's watch just beeped. I thought we had to go take some medicine.
No, I was just keeping up with our sound levels and what have you.
So our Postal Service, again, nothing is easy in this time, and I'm sure that they're trying to do their best. But we do get some complaints that sometimes there's not consistency when they're getting their newspaper. Well, I promise you, online it goes up every Thursday morning. So, in online, if you pay for a paper subscription, online is included. You just have to have us set it up, and then you can also pay for an online version if you just want that and not have stacks of newspaper at your house.
Yeah, I was going to cover that too, as well. The website, LavacaCountyToday.com. And of course, we have Facebook pages for all these newspapers, but that website, LavacaCountyToday.com, you can subscribe to that, and Ani's getting me some numbers on what that costs. But I know some folks that are homebound and don't want to depend on waiting for the mail, or maybe having to go out to a mailbox, and maybe they're not able. Maybe it's hard for them to do that. So I want you to think about that website, because you can get it online and you can read the entire newspaper. So that's something to think about. And when I get these numbers on what these subscription rates are, we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll try to get that in most of our papers. So be looking for that. I think we can move to Yoakum.
I believe that's a good idea. I think looks like a bad car wreck on the front page. There is,
and I know that these pictures were taken by Nadine, who works in our Yoakum office. She sent me a message, a text message with a picture of her in her safety vest.
Oh.
She just wanted me to know that she's working all the time. So
yeah.
I do believe you, Nadine, and so...
well, you stop and think about it. I don't believe that there's but two people in that office.
There is only
which
two.
Is Nadine and Allison, and considering what you have to do to put a paper out with a small number of people, they're to be congratulated on what they're doing.
So great pictures, Nadine, of a very sad situation. I want to make that clear. That you can have wonderful pictures that you feel how bad this wreck was. But we don't mean that the accident itself was great.
Do they have a list of anybody was hurt?
It said no injuries were reported at press time. So
that's good.
Hopefully that is true and stays and that stayed that way. I know, just like Murray said earlier, material things can easily be replaced, but you can't replace lives. So, big thing. Mark Herchick talks about that wind and different things. He always has a great column. Make sure you're checking on that. What else is going on in Yoakum, Murray? Anything?
There's a lot of pictures there. What is that, a king and queen thing
Yes,
again?
they had a king and queen at their prom, so congrats to those youngins. The seniors were Ethan Franklin and Madeline Steineman. They were crowned king and queen. And then juniors, Garrett Green and Mia Quintanilla was crowned prince and princess. So congrats to them. I hope they had a great prom. I know that our communities are finishing out proms lately. So
we want to thank Gonzalez Healthcare Systems for their big ads. And what is that there on the back of their?
This is Paradigm at Stevens. So it's the nursing home there downtown, kind of near the Pizza Hut. So they took out a really large ad, and they're introducing their administrator and director of nurses. So welcome them to the Yoakum community and to the Paradigm at Stevens program.
And we appreciate your advertising, folks. We really do.
Yes, and make sure you're always checking those classifieds for sales and things that are going on and all that fun. The Molten Eagle.
The Molten Eagle. Oh, how I love it.
He loves it. He loves seeing that it's done for the week, and so am I. So we made it another week, and that's what that means. We're getting to the Molten Eagle and the Luling Newsboy, and we're fixing to start all over. That's the whole thing about this, Murray.
It never ends.
It isn't. It's a never-ending cycle, just like laundry. But we do enjoy what we do.
You
just
bet.
Sometimes we get a little tired. But Murray covered, of course, the storms as well, and he talks about how to report the storm damage, and so that's very important. Next week's this coming Wednesday is a very special day for two reasons. It starts the season of Lent, so it's Ash Wednesday, and then it's also Valentine's Day.
All right.
You got big date plans, Murray?
No, we our wedding anniversary falls in this month, so we have to wrap everything up in that.
So y'all just do
I'd rather not spend a lot more money twice.
Okay.
You
So
know.
you're cheap.
Yeah, to a certain extent. No, we went last week and had some barbecue and at a place in Sealy, and we enjoyed the little trip.
And that's it? You're not doing anything
No,
else?
that's it. No.
Oh, goodness.
And the main reason I did that, I've got a car that's 4 years old that don't have 5,000 miles on it. So
But
I wanted to put some miles on
You
it.
could, just go to the Dairy Queen. It's a couple of blocks. Okay, or Morton's. Or, I don't know what else.
The bad thing about some of these places is it's hard to get in.
It is.
Yeah,
So he's going to cook you a steak dinner, Cordelia.
No,
It's on him.
I'm going to get her to fix me some red beans and cornbread.
Oh.
Yeah.
And rice or no?
No.
No. Just beans.
Just red beans.
You know what they
cornbread.
say about beans? They're good for your heart and make you...
Heart.
Yeah, there you go.
They're the musical fruit.
I feel
They make you poop.
I feel like we can't go through a podcast without mentioning farts. This is our new trend.
At least we got the chair problem fixed.
We do. And it is Ash Wednesday, and all our papers do talk about Ash Wednesday services. So check that out. And then there's always our church directories, which you can call or look up those websites to get.
I think I got those Ash Wednesday services on the front page of
You do.
Molten Note.
Look at you, Murray. Just moving right along. And Henry Joe. We didn't talk about Henry Joe's Town Chatter.
Oh my God.
What are we doing? Well, Henry Joe, of course, has the Town Chatter in Hallettsville and the Town Crier in Moulton. So Henry is branching out, and he is writing great stuff. He is talking about stuff that's going on. Keep sending those things to Henry Joe
Yeah.
so he can get them in the paper.
Yeah, don't forget, we set up an email for him, and realtcs@zohomail.com.
Because he's the real deal.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So definitely check out Henry's columns.
Plenty of classifieds this week.
Plenty of classifieds. It took up a lot of the paper for Murray. Sorry, Murray. But Murray does a great job also. This is his new gig. Old gig turned new again.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you he's coming out of retirement all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Luling Newsboy. Again, big shout out to Nicole for all her hard work. And they remind you about how it is Library Month.
Yeah.
And so we have some great libraries. Go ahead and check out Luling for their information on their library and what they're doing at their library for the month that's dedicated to them. But in Lavaca County, we have 3 libraries. One in Shiner, one in Hallettsville, and one in Yoakum.
You know, I haven't been in the Shiner Library.
Oh, it's nice. Right?
But I used to spend a whole lot of time in the Hallettsville Library doing research. I don't do quite as much. I'm doing most of it now online. And when Hans was still here, and he was a reporter here that was working out of Yoakum a lot, we went into the Yoakum Library, and that's the first time I'd been there. They have a really nice library as well, and
cool
I'm sure Shiner does too.
Yes, Shiner does have a nice library, and I've been to all 3, and they all. I mean, you have to think that we are small communities, so to have something that's so great in all of our communities for research and looking back at history, we're going to talk about that a little bit with microfilm. And how you can go back. Our newspapers are available to go back. We're not sure. We know it's 50 years in Hallettsville for sure because Chuck does that.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's a good thing that people are putting those on microfilm. When I worked for the Gonzales Enquirer in Gonzales, Texas for a little while, all of their old newspapers were in a room. They called it the dungeon, where their printing press had been. All those papers were still there in volumes,
Wow.
with the hardback on them. And friends, Gonzales is a mighty old town, and I would spend my weekends back there, or at least one day a week, going through those papers. And I found stuff that you just would not believe because it was just so old, and some of those pages I'd turn and they'd just fall apart in my hands.
Oh, man.
And I'd grab up what I could and type it out, try to save it. But I think Gonzales now has a lot of their stuff on microfilm. Not to get out of Lavaca County, but
Gonzales is close.
all of these towns with their libraries, it's so important for them to save that history. And you need to take advantage of it.
So support them. It's Library Month.
Right.
Ask them what they need help with. I think most of them take volunteers too.
Yeah.
So if you have some time.
Volunteers and money.
That's
They
right.
can use both for sure.
And ask them what kind of books they need, because to build it would have to be that. You need books, right? To
You
build
bet.
your library. So.
And I was going to ask you too. We were talking about doing a Facebook group for
We're
this
doing
podcast,
So
and
pretty
we've
soon
got
you're
that
gonna-
in the works. Or,
Yeah, you're gonna get probably an invite, or you're gonna see it to join our Facebook group for the local lowdown. Say it, Murray. I didn't say it right.
Local lowdown.
And where we may put some extra stuff up there that we may have missed or forgot to talk about, because by the time we get to this, our brains are like working on about 10%,
Yeah.
and then we rejuvenate over the weekend, and we're back to 100, and then go back down. So sometimes we forget things that we want you guys to know. It'll also be a place that you can comment more. You can send us stuff. It'll have easy access to our email and all of that. So we're
Yeah.
excited to get that started.
Yeah, and what I thought about too was all of our podcasts will be in one place.
Right.
And they won't have to search out when I posted them or when you posted them. They can go to the local lowdown podcast.
And just
group.
share them all.
Yeah.
That's what we
We'll
want you
put
to
them
do.
up. I'll probably put the last 6 or 7 up to start with, and then from then on, they'll be in there every week. Hopefully on Thursdays, Might be late Thursday sometime, but no, I'm looking forward to Michelle doing that.
I'm working on it. It sounds like a good day to do it.
What else we got for Luling before we close this out?
Let's see what Nicole has going on. I know that they have soccer. I think this is their first year, according to Mark Luby, and he's been over to cover that. Let's see. Of course, they're talking also. They have the same thing in Gonzales County going on that we have here in Lavaca County of the stolen vehicles. So make sure that, we look into that. Luling Food Bank, they ran a great ad with us last week, and this week they're talking about really information about what they've done. Always support the food banks. It's very important to all of our communities. That about covers it.
Okay. Well, we didn't get to talk to Nicole this week.
We didn't.
But we didn't get to talk to the managing editor as well.
No, so. We had some people missing from our staff meeting, but Chuck was there.
So. Oh, that's the main thing. Yeah, because he definitely gives it a certain amount of color. Right. But otherwise,
Henry wasn't there either.
Henry wasn't there, and that was kind of like a vacation for me. And how about the Girl Scout cookies?
Okay, so here's what happened. I brought in the Girl Scout cookies for us to taste.
And where did you put them?
I put them in Murray's area to keep them safe. And we got a little busy on Tuesday when I brought them in because it is publishing day, and that's the only day really everyone's here at some point. So this next Tuesday, my goal is to start early in the morning with us tasting them. But now I had to replenish because little did I know, Henry bought some. Now Murray's going to take some home to his lovely bride. So I'm going to have to replenish. But we're going to try all those cookies and see which ones. We're going to let you know who likes what cookie.
Well, I like the Thin Mints, and my wife likes those, what do they call them, caramel?
The lights.
Yeah. So that's what I grabbed.
But
that might be her Valentine present.
Oh, no, I ruined it. I'm sorry. But we're going to let you know because I'm going to make Murray try all of them.
All right.
Every single cookie. And Henry, I know he's looking forward to it.
You don't have to worry about that. He will try all of them.
Yeah, but and let me just explain, if you've never been in our office, or at least back where the guys were, they do have separation, like a wall that separates Henry's area from Murray's area. And somehow little Henry found those cookies. He has a nose that just sniffs it out.
Yeah. Well, that's not much of a wall because you could certainly hear through it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I still would like, we have a thicker wall between Murray and I. And I do knock on it occasionally to let him know I'm yelling at him. But I would like to put a window in, like a sliding drive-through window. Yeah. So we could talk more easily than me having to walk all the way around.
There you go. Well, with that being said, I guess we'll say our goodbyes.
I guess so. You're first, Murray.
Okay, friends, I want to tell you again how much we appreciate you listening to this podcast. We hope that you will like, and we hope that you'll share it, and we hope that you will come to our group as soon as we get it going, which I'm sure will be pretty soon. And like Michelle said, we'll be inviting our friends, and it'll be a public group, so you'll be able to join and listen. So we appreciate it, and I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you next week.
All right, guys, support your local basketball and soccer teams, and those kids work hard, so there's some great games going on this week, or at least tomorrow night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have some fun. I hope your team wins, even if it's not my team, but I hope your team wins. So you can be happy, or more than anything, I hope that if you got some money in a pot, that you're a lucky one, unless you're betting in the same pot as me, then I'm not all rooting for you. No, I am. But have a great weekend, enjoy, and we will see you next week on the day after Valentine's Day.
You bet.
And we'll talk all about our wonderful dates with our spouses. Bye, guys.
Goodbye, everybody.